I'm very pleased to be here today. This occasion marks a very important milestone for our company and for the community. About 2 years ago, I joined BioNitrogen at the urging of my good friend Carlos Contreras. We've been working together for over 7 years, and he urged me to come on board, not just because it was a great company, but because we were convinced that BioNitrogen represented an outstanding investment opportunity and a new direction in the clean energy sector. Our backgrounds have been heavy in oil and gas and other energy products, and this was a very pivotal point in our decision making from a fund and a vision perspective. For years, urea fertilizer has been produced using natural gas and coal as a feedstock. This can be and is detrimental to our environment. Our company's patented process allows us to use woody biomass and other waste products as feedstock. This not only reduces the CO2 emissions from you seeing people burning or burying this feedstock, but it also reduces the CO2 emissions from a typical natural gas or carbon-based urea plant. In fact, we believe our process is not only carbon neutral, but possibly carbon negative. It's been a long road to the site of the Weekly Industrial Park here in Hendry County, but we're very excited to be here, and we're very excited about the opportunities that this presents for the next 2 years and for the next 40 years to come. We've worked very closely behind the scenes, as Dr. Greg has mentioned. We chose this site not just because state officials have recommended it, not because Dr. Gilman, but because of the jobs and the opportunities in this area. There's feedstock, there's transportation, there's all the basic inputs that we need in our recipe to make this a success. There's an enormous amount of jobs and economic benefits that we can provide to the area. From a taxing perspective, we are expected to add over $1 million to the school board system alone for the next 40 years. And direct to Chairman Carson's point, that's the foundation and building block of any society, any functioning society. Just recently, we've announced funding inducements of over $1 million from the Florida Department of Transportation and the Department of Economic Opportunity. They have a program that's focused on quality targeted industries. This site is ideal in that it offers us access to water, truck and rail. Transportation is a critical component of fertilizers and farmers. We're in the process of negotiating with Florida Power and Light our newly approved economic development rate, which is signed off by the PSC earlier this year. We've also signed a 25-year agreement with Bioresource Management to provide feedstock for our site here. And we have a 25-year agreement with United Suppliers that provides crop seed and nutrients to over 2,000 farmers in the United States and Canada. There's a co-op that was established in 1963. So with this, we're bringing to the table the best of breed people to make this a success. Our strategy incorporates a four-pillar approach. This includes the feedstock, the plant, the offtake, and the financing. As I mentioned, we have a 25-year agreement on the feedstock with Bioresource Management. With AMIC as our EPC contractor, they're one of the largest engineering firms in the world, and they have a reputation in engineering, procurement, and construction for plants of this size and this nature around the world. As I mentioned, we also have a 25-year agreement with United Suppliers on the the offtake agreement for the urea fertilizer. In addition to that, and lastly on the financing side, with the help of the Industrial Development Authority of Hendry County, we have received from the Division of Bond Finance $300 million in bond allocation, which will go towards building this plant. Those bonds will be underwritten by Stifel Nicolaus and purchased by Deutsche Bank for the purposes of building this plant. We're expecting that to close shortly once we conclude the upfront engineering for the plant. We have further support from export banks in Europe, as well as the largest ammonia provider in the world. On top of that, and in addition to that, under Chairman Carson Turner, Greg Gilman, Charles Chapman, and the local community, we've received from the local community as well as the state Department of Transportation in excess of $10 million of inducements up front for this plan. These inducements, along with all the hard work to get us to this point, so I appreciate recognizing the folks of Hendry County for all their work and effort today. This ceremony does mark the beginning of a long-term relationship with the state of Florida and with Hendry County and the local community. Just since we've announced that we're going to be moving here, the city of Clewiston is already contributing a process in which they take their woody biomass waste and deposit it here, which should be saving the local cities over the long term, not to mention the environment. Having grown up in Louisiana, I can appreciate the concept of setting sugarcane fields on fire. It is not a pleasant sight, and I'm sure we all look forward to reducing that in any way we can. We do look forward to working with everybody in the coming months and years as the plant gets built and becomes a major contributor to the economic well-being of this community. So thank you all for what you've done. This day is a reality for all of us. And I would like to give a special thanks to Dan Weekly and his family for providing the support for this site.
I don't know if any of y'all heard that, but he's been here one day and he's already saying we're going to stop burning sugar cane. And that ain't a way to make enemies. I don't know what is. I'm just messing with you, Brian. Brian didn't tell you this either. The big reason why we got him here, he's an avid outdoorsman, duck hunting. So we appreciate y'all getting this done. I will take you hunting now. I'll make that happen. So we appreciate y'all. Also, you know, just a general gist of how this BioNitrogen has started out. Most of the executives here today have brought their families with them. They have their little people with them. They're engaging in this community already. And some of the conversations that I've had with them on a personal level, you know, we're excited about this. This has a marriage with a tremendous amount of upside for us, and we're looking forward to it. With that, I'd like to introduce Mr. Gary Messer, the project manager of AMEC.
Good morning and welcome. We appreciate you attending this celebration for this milestone for the project. My name is Gary Messer. I'll be the project manager for AMEC. AMEC is one of the largest engineering and construction firms in the country. We're currently ranked as number 6 by Engineering News Record. We provide engineering and construction services to the oil and gas, mining, clean energy, and environmental market sectors. We've been involved with the project for the last 12 months. We started in June of last year. What I'd like to do now is show you a little overview of the project and walk you through the process, the bionitrogen process. Trouble seeing the laser print, I'm sorry. What's going to happen is they're going to bring in woody biomass. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. They'll be bringing in woody biomass on the far end of the plant, and we've laid out the site so that the trucks will basically bringing in the biomass on the far end of the site, and the truck traffic will flow clockwise, and we'll be coming in with the biomass, and it will be unloaded on the far end and after going through the unloading, we will run it through 2 sets of conditioning where we will be sizing it so that it's all properly sized, and then following getting it to a homogenized size, we're putting it through a stacker reclaimer where basically it will blend the different biomass because it'll be coming from different sources. From the reclaim bin, it will be going over to a drying system where we will reduce the moisture content and get it to a consistent moisture prior to going to the gasifiers. In the gasifiers, they will produce a synthetic natural gas, which will later be used as the feedstock for the ammonia plant. The feedstock will go through a series of vessels where we will clean the synthetic gas, and then following cleaning it, we will then compress it so that it gets to be the right pressure to meet the design spec for the ammonia plant as the feedstock. The ammonia plant will be a conventional ammonia process similar to what you would have with a typical natural gas-fired ammonia plant. The ammonia would then go on to the urea plant, where the urea would be developed, and then the urea would go through a granulation phase. From the granulation, we would then take the urea to a storage building, where the urea would be stored and reclaimed and sent for both truck and rail transport. Now, the plant, in addition to the process, which will flow this way in an S, also will have a utility plant, and the utility plant will be there to develop steam, which is required for the ammonia and urea process, and also having a small wastewater treatment plant to treat the waste streams. The good thing about the bionitrogen process, to add on to Bryan's comments, is the fact that the bionitrogen process basically uses all of the byproducts which are created during the process streams. So that means that as we develop CO and other byproducts that come out of the process, they go back through the process loop and are reused during the process. We've got some images to show you. We've been working on a 3D model of the plant, which will be the basis of the preliminary design that Bryan said will be sent to Deutsche Bank. And this view here is an overhead. Then fall through here is a bird's eye view, which will give you a better idea of the layout of the plant, where you will see we're coming in with the trucks are unloading, and then the trucks work out and leave the site as we go through. So this is the reclaim pile, where they're reclaiming the biomass. Then following the reclaim, it goes through another sizing prior to going to the dryer system, and then we have a silo for holding the conditioned wood chips, and then the wood chips will be conveyed over to the gasifiers, and the gasifiers are where they'll produce the syngas. The syngas will be collected in the ductwork here, and then sent to the gas cleanup, and the gas cleanup will be in these vessels along here, and then following the gas cleanup, we'll go over to the ammonia plant. And then following the ammonia plant will be the urea plant, and then the urea granulation plant, and then the urea storage building. And then over here is the unloading for the trucks, and then we'll have right in here the unloading for the rail, and then here is the utility plant. Here's another view looking from the truck entrance of the plant to give you an idea of height. The road is out here. We've tried in developing the layout of the plant to keep all of the higher vessels back away from the road and the eye view. The building we're in now sits right here, and then the other storage warehouse sits right here. So basically, as you're driving down the main road, the existing buildings will act as a shield for where the plant is. Here's another view from the rear of the plant, giving you an idea of the size of the towers. These are the towers where we do the screening and conditioning of the biomass pile, and then the process plant. You'll see here we've made a circular pipe rack where all the utilities will go around the plant because of the fact that we're reusing all the byproducts and we're providing the common utilities to the different process areas. And the last one I have here that we brought is an image from the rear of the plant, looking at it. As we work on the design of the project, the analysis and all of the development of the civil with the foundation works, the steel, the piping will all be imported into the model. So essentially we will build the plant in the office on the computer system and then come out to the field and construct the plant. And so we'll be monitoring the construction as it's built. And I don't know what Bryan's decision has been yet on how he'll work it with Hendry County or with Lewiston, but BioNitrogen will be viewing the plant online as we design the plant, and the plant will be updated every 24 hours on the model as it's developed. So if anyone has any questions for me later, I'll be back in the rear of the building and can answer them. But I'd like to thank everybody for attending this, and I especially want to say my congratulations to both Hendry County and BioNitrogen on this project, and hopefully it'll be a very successful adventure for all of us. Thanks.
I want to bring up now one of the assistant secretaries to the Department of Transportation in charge of intermodal development systems. He is not a stranger to our community. Mr. Biter has been here on multiple occasions discussing the intermodal logistics centers and just getting familiar with our county and our region as a whole. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Richard Biter.
Happy to be here. Good morning, everyone. Glad everyone could be here. This is quite an event. Anytime we get an opportunity to make investments, into the state of Florida to help expand our economy and create jobs, that's what we look forward to. I want to thank you all for the opportunity to be here with you to celebrate this announcement on the first clean technology urea production facility in Florida that is coming to Hendry County. The Florida Department of Transportation is pleased that we're able to support Hendry County Economic Development Council effort to bring BioNitrogen and this important new project to the community. The most exciting part about our role in Governor Scott's effort to grow Florida's economy is not just the opportunity to announce important projects like this, but it's the opportunity to showcase Hendry County and the other hidden jewels of our state. The success of the BioNitrogen project will do just that. One of the things that we have come to learn that many people think, well, the Florida Department of Transportation is like concrete, asphalt, and steel, or just a highway department. But in fact, we are truly the Department of Transportation. And as such, we make tremendous amounts of investments in our infrastructure, which again helps the economy, helps our jobs. I mean, we have a board over here just showing just on, I believe that's around 80, just the amount of tens of millions of dollars that we're investing. Overall, the amount of infrastructure investment that we're investing in this county is well over $100 million that we have just in one intersection, I believe, that we've put in. So anyway, we realize the importance of this county to our statewide transportation network, and in particular, it's important to note that when we look at our seaports and so forth, that they got to connect to something. And it's when, we can build the greatest road structures, the greatest bridges in the world, but if it doesn't connect an origin and a destination, we've missed the point. And in this particular case, when we look at this facility being connected to our state highway system, will allow them the freight mobility to bring in freight, to export freight, is a tremendous asset. Hendry County is a wonderful place to live, work, and play, and the talents of its workforce will enable the success of any company that chooses to call Hendry County home. Florida DOT is pleased that our $848,000 Economic Development Transportation Fund grant will allow Hendry County to take full advantage of this economic opportunity. Let me also say that the department will continue to work in partnership with the county and Enterprise Florida to guarantee this will not be the last time we're coming together to announce new jobs to Hendry County. And as Chairman Turner said, we have been working on a number of projects together, both with us coming down here and the commissioners and representatives coming up to Tallahassee. So it's really been a true partnership. We're committed to BioNitrogen and the new 52 jobs that this will bring immediately to this community going forward. We look forward to the opportunity to celebrate your success, and thank you again for your invitation to be here today. It's with my great pleasure that I have the honor to introduce Representative Matt Hudson, and if you could give him a rousing applause like you did when he walked in.
Okay, well, first of all, I have no idea what Carson Turner told you. They got the rousing applause when I walked in. In fairness, please understand I had no desire to be late, but my district is 100 miles across, and so I started this morning in Naples doing a presentation with two of my colleagues, and had to immediately run out of that, hop in a car, fight I-75, stay Road 80, which I can't wait for it to be done, Mr. Biden, and get here. So whatever he told you, it's a little scary. So just a couple of things. First of all, it is a distinct honor for me, number one, to be your voice in Tallahassee for Hendry County. When I look around this room, to me, the reason, aside from just the great demographics we have and the infrastructure and the great opportunity that the weekly property provides, when you look around, it's really the people. And when I started representing this community a couple years ago, it's amazing how one community could be so focused and so dedicated on trying to make sure that their community grew, prospered, and was heading in the right direction. You got all the cylinders working together, and that's oftentimes not the case. But when I look in this room and see mayors and county commissioners and business leaders and educators and people that just genuinely care, then it's no wonder we're standing here today on the precipice of a major announcement, major capital infrastructure, and jobs that are going to create strong families and even stronger community for next generations. And so the applause really should be to you and your community for figuring out how best to work together, how to stay focused on a goal, and how to actually bring it across the finish line. Because that just doesn't happen every day. Things like this don't happen every day. And you should be commended for that. I know I do, and that's why, frankly, it is a pleasure to represent you, because I know that we're seeing eye to eye on many, many things about growing jobs and growing our economy. Along the way in this process, I will certainly not say that I had anywhere near as many phone calls with Greg Gilman as he espoused to earlier with BioNitrogen, but I will tell you that your economic development group, as well as your county commission, were very, very engaged in this process on the state level. I mean, very engaged. Every community meeting I went to, oh, did you hear we're working on? Oh, did you hear? Hey, by the way, I want to follow up with, and it was just perpetual. As much as Carson was busting my chops a little bit when I got here, Carson met with me personally in Tallahassee. He made the pitch, as well as Greg, and you know what? It works. You know, that's how it's supposed to be. That's why you send representatives to Tallahassee in the Republic. You know, you're supposed to hear from the community. You're supposed to be responsible. You're supposed to get it done. And collectively, we were able to accomplish that. And that's a beautiful thing. And so, seldom do I ever give Carson a compliment without kind of busting his chops along the way. But in this particular case, well done as chair of the commission, and to the other commissioners, and to the entire team. moving forward, we're going to have a lot of people engaged in construction activity and building this plant. We're going to be setting forward an entirely new process that just in watching and listening to you is fantastic. I was reading a brief on the Wall Street Journal about your company, and it's exciting. And if you're not excited about it, then there's just something wrong with you. And so, to me, we are really launching something here that can be a great catalyst. So, to all the people involved, to all the components involved, whether you played a little piece, a big piece, a mammoth piece, or you were just a cheerleader on the side to keep people from getting discouraged along the way, you know what? Well done to you, and I appreciate your hard work, and I can't wait to see the great things that happen here. So, thank you to BioNitrogen, thank you to the team. Appreciate it, Mr. Weekly, great. It's a great opportunity for all of you. It's now my honor to introduce one of my colleagues in the Florida House, who has certainly been a friend to agriculture for a very long time, and a good friend of mine, and also focused on economic development, Representative Katie Evans.
Thank you so much. It really is an honor to be with you and to see all of this come to fruition today. I'm sitting here remembering my first time visiting Lewiston. For the young people here, it's really awesome to have you here and be a part of this today. My first time coming to Lewiston was in 1999, in between my high school senior year and college at Clemson. I called Dave Dampier at Sugarlick, and I'm like, I want to come work in the sugar industry. Do you have any jobs? And that was my introduction to Hendry County. And from then, got involved in this little group called Women Involved in Farm Economics with the good people of the Glades, like Artis Hammock and my friend Chris Howell, who's here today. And so always focusing on rural economic development and on making sure that we had a thriving agricultural industry. That was my lifeblood, and that was my interest in staying involved with the rural areas here in South Florida. My state house district is all the way in Broward. I had a 100-mile drive too. I did get here on time though. But nonetheless, you know, it's so important to share the love and share the excitement for these projects, because so often for many years, you know, Joe Spratt can tell you, when you're the little guy, that one member out of 120, you're always trying to get people to understand how important the rural areas are and how important our needs are, especially for the appropriation side and for water projects and for good economic policy. So, you know, you have so many friends across the state, people really who do truly care and are so happy and so glad to see this project get up off the ground. My good friends, the Weekly family, I salute you and commend you for helping to bring this together today and for being the catalyst. Chairman Turner, I know this has been a big project. I mean, Chairman Hudson is right. Hendry County constantly keeps us in communication about the good things happening here. And I know all of us who have an affinity to the Glades area know a couple years ago when this big announcement was made about buying out U.S. Sugar, we were very concerned to the point of scare for our community for how it was going to evolve. And that gave us the chance to think about long term, what would happen if agriculture was no longer the driving economic force in Hendry County and in the Glades. And so, you know, seeing where we were at just a few years ago, where it was really an economic crisis and a concern for this area, now we're able to do this today, move forward in the right direction. So BioNitrogen, welcome to South Florida. Thank you so much for giving us something to be truly happy and proud of. And I just salute you for your effort today. Thank you.
Now have about a 90-second video that we want to play, and then we'll have Mr. Constituent following that video to speak. Just for everyone here, I was not in charge of audio-visual this morning. John Binker and Sue Binker were. No, I'm just kidding. It was my CPR tool. John, relax over there. Would you all like us to go ahead and bring Tuesday up? Is that okay? Tuesday, Trent, thank you so much. Talk about somebody that's tireless in our community. Tuesday, we really appreciate you. Come on up. We'll go ahead and cue this up right after.
This is truly a great day for Hendry County. It's very exciting to be a part of. We've all worked long and hard to achieve it, and it's truly exciting, and thank you all for coming out to support us. On behalf of the Hendry County EDC Board, I'd like to acknowledge the hard work of our staff, Greg Gilman, Jennifer Price. Thank you so much for all you do for us. We'd also like to acknowledge the commitment of our board of directors. Our board is very hands-on, work very closely with staff, as well as our investors. We so appreciate you. We could not do this without you. You've helped us in our vision to help create jobs and grow Hendry County, which is what we're here for. I hope this is just the beginning of many great things to come to our community. And again, thank you for your continued support of the Hendry County EDC.
Ceremony, and I'm the last speaker that gets us between dinner and everyone being done with this process. And I want to tell you, we have some great people in here. How about both of our chambers being represented this morning? I'd like to get a round of applause for both the chamber directors and staff. There's a number of the board of directors of both chambers out here. Tuesday mentioned the executive committee of the Economic Development Council, and I kind of took a jab at John and Sue. Let me tell you why. John and Sue Binker are another one of those examples of an entity that has moved into town, and they're clearly making a difference to our community. But we can go on and on. I mean, take the Weekly family. What Dan and Brenda, his twin brother Troy, when you meet the Weekly family, you don't meet one of them, you meet the entire herd. And I tell you, there's so much energy there, and it's all positive. I could go on and on. When's the last time anyone can recall reading something about Hendry County in the Wall Street Journal in a positive connotation? You know, those are the types of steps that we're taking. I'm so excited to be a part of it. I'm so excited that we have legislators from both sides of the aisle here this morning. How about the bipartisan move in the BioNitrogen plant here? A Republican introducing a Democrat, and everybody holding hands, and a Democrat taking a jab at everybody, and it's just awesome. These are the steps that we're taking. Our Economic Development Council has an educational improvement task force that is making the facts known. That's been about a 2-year process to get everyone on the same page so that the public school system and our private school system understands that the community is here to be an anchor, a leg to our educational abilities, not a hindrance. And we're just trying to tell the story of that, and we're trying to make sure that we bring resources to them. This is a great moment for Hendry County. So excited to see our young people over here in the corner. I hope you know that every night when I go to bed, the thought process of what our young people are going to be doing for years to come, not one generation, I'm talking 3, 4, 5 generations out. And how is that going to look different than what it looks today? Thank the Lord, agriculture has anchored our community in all the number of years that it has. Through the ups and the downs, the highs and the lows, you look at what the Dow Jones Industrial Average does, you look at drought, you look at whatever the different aspects are that hit our economy, ag has stayed true to Hendry County. And this is one more step for us in trying to grow and diversify our economic portfolio. I'm so happy to serve with the Board of County Commissioners that I serve with. I'm so happy to see the mayors from both cities here, the chambers from both cities. This is a step in the right direction. And let me tell you, you know who you are, get engaged, it's you. It's you who are the gas and the engine of this community, and we so appreciate y'all being here this morning. Thank you so much. How about a round of applause for Hendry County? Will actually unfold, and we'll be on our way. We on it? 1, 2.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of